In this video, we are going to discuss about the cyclic barrier of Java thread. So basically, we have some demo at the last, like how internally it works. So the first thing is that we need to understand what is the cyclic barrier and how it is used the Java thread synchronization. So basically this cyclic barrier is the thread synchronization mechanism that allows a set of threads to wait each other, and once it is reached the barrier point, then the thread independently perform their work. Okay, so this is the main thing. And what are the use cases? So use cases like in parallel computing, like suppose three threads are participate for a work, so they need to wait each other until they reach the barrier point. Once suppose the thread 1 performing some tags, and we can collect the subtags, and from the thread 2 we are collecting the second tags, and from the thread 3 we are collecting the third subtags, and we can summarize all this thing in the barrier point. Because until unless they did not reach the barrier point, we cannot, I mean the thread cannot perform the next thing. Okay, so this is the main purpose of this cyclic barrier. And how the threads are wait each other, we are using some of the methods of the Java concurrent package, that is the out method, like this method. Okay, and once all the thread have reached this certain point, that is the barrier point, there they can continue its the execution. Okay, and one more thing, the like why it is called as cyclic barrier, because once it is reached the cycle, I mean the barrier point, then we can reuse the same thing, like thread can wait again, it's like then they can continue their work. Okay, it's on like CountDownLatch. Okay, so in we'll cover this word in the next video. Okay, so in the CountDownLatch we cannot reset this thing, like the countdown object we cannot reset. But in cyclic barrier, once this reach the barrier point, then again we can reset that one. Okay, so that we can reuse that cyclic barrier object. Okay, so this is the main difference. We'll cover that. And when we'll use that one, so basically when the multiple thread will perform the independent task, and they need to they need to wait each other before continue the next task. So in this video, basically we have some program. You can see this cyclic barrier class is available under this java.util.concurrent package. And if you want the exception, then you can use the exception also, that is the barrier broken barrier exception. And I have one main class, so I broke down all these things, like I create a cyclic barrier object with three thread are participating in this I mean performing the task, and each thread has its preparation work, and each thread also called the out method, so that each other threads are out for each other. Okay, so when all thread reach the barrier point, then the thread proceed with the main task. Okay, so we'll cover those things in the demo, and you can see how we'll initialize this cyclic barrier. You can see one cyclic barrier object I created, because I imported this package, and after that I created the cyclic barrier object, and it need two parameter, like how many number of threads are going to participate. Here I am using 3, and the second parameter is the most important thing, that is you can see the second parameter is the barrier action. So this action object represent like once it is reached the barrier point, then what action it need to perform. So in my case, I'm going to print only some message, like it will show you like the barrier point is reached, then the thread can continue their work. Okay, so this is the thing, so that's why I mentioned the lambda expression. Okay, so I created one more class, like worker, which implements the thread object like a runnable interface. And when because in the last you can see I'm going to create 3 different threads. Okay, so this thread basically performing the work of this thing. Okay, because I passed the worker thread object. Okay, so inside that I use the initialize this thread name, and after that implement the run method. So basically the thread will perform this try block work. Okay, and the catch block, I catch that exception, like this exception, broken barrier exception, if it is throwing some error. Okay, so we will cover this run part what is performed. So the important thing is that first the thread is come to the preparation stage, because until unless the barrier point reached, so all threads should invoke, like they should wait. So how the threads will wait each other? Because of this method. This is the important method, that is the barrier.await method, so that each thread will wait each other. Okay, once it reaches the barrier, then this line will be executed, and after this line is executed, then the thread will independently work, like they can perform some tags or something. You can see they are starting the first tags, and if you are performing some work, like do some work, and I have defined one method like doing the first work, like that. Okay, so the each thread should print like doing that first work. Okay, so this is a very simple program. So the threads should wait each other because of this await method, and once they wait each other, then it will perform the this object, like barrier action. So let me run this program. So let me save this file, and after that let me run this program. I compile this program, then after that let me run this one. So now you can see all the thread is in preparation stage, and they are waiting for the barrier to complete. And once each of the thread wait for the barrier, then you can see all reach the barrier. This is the barrier action. Now the thread should start their main tags. Okay, so the thread 3 is starting its first work, thread 2 similarly, thread 1 also starting its first work, and all these threads are completing, like doing the first work, and worker 1 also doing the first work. And at the end I print this message, like you can see here, I print the message, this one, done. So that's why all the threads showing like done, all the completion of the each of the thread. And so this is all about the cyclic barrier, how we can use in the Java thread synchronization. And the similar thing like the countdown latch also we'll cover the next video. Thanks.